mean to do this, but I matched my ornament.
No, that's funny. Hello and welcome to our Christmas time! Yeah, Christmas time, Christmas all the way.
Some people are a little more into Christmas than others.
I'm ready. Let's do this. Today's topic of conversation is going to be talking about ornaments. So I think we're going to do this one ornament each, and we're going to do this each year because we have some really fun ornament stories.
Yeah.
Some people buy ornaments and it's like, oh, that's a fun thing that I like, and then they put it on the tree, but some ornaments have backstory as to why they are a distinctive memory in that person's life.
Yeah.
So I guess you'll start.
Yeah, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, that's fine.
So, in... where do I...
1922.
So in 2001, I lived just outside of Washington, D.C., and one of the biggest museum/tourist experiences in the area is Colonial Williamsburg. It's not really in the area of D.C., but it's in like
The vicinity.
the general region of the country. So my mom and I went to Colonial Williamsburg and spent the entire day there. It was a bit of a drive, so we really wanted to make the entire day worth it. And they had people that were historical reenactors that were just like, I lived in this time period, and then they had historical reenactors who took on the personalities of famous historical figures. So they were doing a...
Sorry, you say this and all I think of is the... I can't remember who it was. The, like, George and Martha Washington's maid, I think it was, or...
Oh, the web
videos.
series I
Yes.
showed you?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so good.
That's all I think
Ask
of.
a Slave.
Yes.
Anyway, so they were doing basically a Thomas Jefferson TED Talk was the best way for me to describe it. And he was up there and he was talking about his life and discussing all of these things. And my mom and I sat right up at the front because I was that kid. I was 10 at the time, and I just had to sit right up at the front. And at the end, he started taking questions, and I really wasn't into Thomas Jefferson at that point in time. I was way more interested in Benjamin Franklin. Mm-hmm. So he called on me. My hand was up. He called on me. He said, "What's your question?" And I said, "What was it like to work with Benjamin Franklin?"
So I'm going to put a pause there because that's a question that's asked a lot on various people. It's like, what was it like to work with this person or this other celebrity?
The other person you actually wanted to hear about?
Yes.
Yeah. So he goes, hey, he did some like babble about like, oh, he was lovely. We worked on the Declaration of Independence together. And in my head, I'm like, I know, that's why I asked you. And he goes, do you know him? And I'm like, well, what idiot doesn't know who Benjamin Franklin is? So I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you're a bit young. Where do you live? And I said, Maryland. And he goes, well, he did go through there as the postmaster general, and the whole audience, including my mother, is falling over themselves laughing hysterically. They think this is just the funniest thing they've ever heard. It was the last question. It wrapped up. We got out of there. I was like, I'm done. That was horribly embarrassing. Never again. So that night, they were holding the governor's ball in the governor's mansion. We hadn't originally been planning to stay that
So was
late.
that at the bottom? The governor's ball and the ball, the governor's mansion.
We weren't originally planning to stay that late, but we'd had a really good day, and it was quiet season, so I think they like had discounted the tickets partway through the day to make sure there were enough numbers or whatever. So we were like, all right, we're gonna do the governor's mansion. So they bring you in a small group at a time, and somebody comes in and explains like what's happening that night and all of the backstory, and then you get taken up to meet the governor and his wife, and then you're let out into the party. And who walks in the door? But Thomas Jefferson. And I'm also the only kid in the group. And then Thomas Jefferson recognizes me and calls me forward. And we chat for a minute, casually, as you do. And he says, I'm going to escort you up the stairs. I'm going to introduce you personally to the governor. And he goes like this. And I went, what? And he goes, take my arm. And I went, what? And Mom goes, take his arm. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I can't take it off of him. What are you talking about? So he goes, I'll escort your mother too. So he puts the other arm out, and my mom, very gracefully puts her hand on top of his, and I'm like, okay. So he walks us up the stairs and he's like, "This is Catherine," like does this big like introduction to me, and the governor was like, "It's wonderful to meet you." Da, da, da. And then we went back downstairs and I learned how to play a Colonial Williamsburg gambling game and got really good at it. So that's when I was 10. So my ornament is Thomas Jefferson.
Now, is that from?
It's Thomas Jefferson, Washington, D.C.
Okay, so was that from that time frame, or did you get that later?
We bought it that year.
Okay.
We didn't buy it at Colonial Williamsburg because they didn't have a Thomas Jefferson specific ornament, but we got it later in our time in D.C. because my mom was like, "Oh, we need to commemorate the time Thomas Jefferson embarrassed me in front of a large number of people." So that's my least favorite founding father. It's Thomas Jefferson.
My story is completely different, which is great because it balances it out.
Oh, good.
So in 2011, it was the end of summer. I was getting ready to move to Orlando, and I had a going away party. I say in the biggest quotations possible.
You went how many hours away?
It was, well, because my mom wanted to have a party with pizza with all of my friends, which at the time was like 3. So not much has changed. So I had 3 friends over, and we had pizza, and we played categories or a couple games, whatever we played. And then I think it was 8 or 9 o'clock rolled around, and I said, "Oh, everything must stop because we have to turn on oxygen because it's the second to last episode of the Glee project." Now, the Glee project, the reason I was watching. So for those of you who don't know, the Glee project was a series that Oxygen did that was to find like the next like guest starring role on Glee. So each week like one of the Glee people came in and they did like a round of like challenges, and then at the end somebody got voted off or somebody like got not cast or something. I don't know. So the reason why I was watching was not because I enjoyed Glee. I enjoyed it enough. I was a huge fan of Celtic Thunder. Still am. And Damien McGinty was one of the contestants. I said, "Well, I have to watch this." And I said, "I'm just going to watch it until he gets off, if that happens, and then I'm just going to stop watching." Well, he didn't, and he was still in the show at this point. Second to last episode, and I said, "We got to watch this." And my one friend just doesn't like musicals, doesn't get them, doesn't understand it, has never watched Glee, and was like, "I just don't understand. Why is this on?" So it gets to the end. There are 4 contestants left, and there's supposed to be 3 at the end. And it gets all the way to the end, and she's like ready to leave. And the cast list gets up. Everyone starts looking at it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I got in! Oh my god, I got in! Oh my god, I got in!" And the last person goes up, and it's like, "Oh, that's the person that's going." It's like, "Oh my god, I got in!" So all 4 of them got to go to the next round, and she goes, "What? I sat through an hour of this, and none of them got voted off? Have fun in Orlando, Eric," and walked out the door. She goes, "They all can't win. What is this crap?" So then at Christmas time, we're doing an ornament exchange, and she gets me this Glee ornament, like whatever, and she goes, "Flip it around." So I did. So on the back it says, "Happy Going Away Party 2011. They all won." It's probably the most bitter ornament I have on the tree, and it's great.
Ooh, is it?
Needless to say, this ornament gives me much Glee every time I take it out of the box.
Oh my god.
Do you have a favorite ornament that's on your Christmas tree?
I hope so.
Does it give you Glee?
Does it remind you of public humiliation?
Write a comment and tell us a little bit about it. Maybe we'll feature, if you send us a video, maybe we'll feature yours in the next year's
that would be fun.
Ornament thing. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed our discussion about our ornaments.
Yeah.
Make sure you like this video.
Share.
Subscribe.
Notifications.
Jeez, like Christmas showed up and you were just like, "I don't have time to talk anymore."
Yes.
Gosh, personalization. The season of giving. The season of giving.
What does personalization have to do with that?
Make sure you like this video.
Share this video.
Subscribe to our channel.
Notifications.
Like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Instagram.
And it's the season of giving, so you know what you should do? You should go and support us on Patreon, because in order to make more wonderful and exciting